I'm not an educator that used to do real estate and now I got into education. I'm a real estate guy that does real estate that happens to love education, and that's why I'm here. You'll see a lot of other courses from a lot of other educators that used to have a business, used to flip houses, they used to have a team of people, they used to do deals, whether it be a month, 2 months, 6 months, or a year ago, or maybe they have a family that does stuff, but they're not physically in it to win it with their sales guys, talking to sellers, doing marketing, spending money on marketing. If they're not in it every single day, they have no clue what's going on and they shouldn't be teaching you. So if you bought other courses and other training and other education, that's the big question, right? That's the big question. Are they actually doing what they teach, right? Are they doing what they teach? Now, I can tell you when I first got started back in 2003, so I've been doing it for years and years, right? Over 15 years. The bottom line is that when I got started, I didn't know hardly anything about real estate. I bought this guy's course over the radio, and I was going to a pool and landscape appointment where I was going to, I was in a business of selling pools and landscaping in Phoenix, Arizona, mind you. So here's the deal. It was 100 and whatever degrees out. It was actually in May of 2003 at the time. So it was getting hot. It wasn't super hot, but it was hot out. And I was going to a pool and landscaping appointment in Estrella Park. Anybody from Arizona knows where that is. And I was driving down the 101 loop, and I was flipping through the radio stations, and this guy came on the radio and started talking about how you could flip houses using no cash or credit. And I'm like, okay, and he had people on there, success stories. There were people making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month flipping houses. Now, I'm originally from New England, so I was, my dad was one of those devil's advocate, like a born skeptic, and I kind of took that trait on. So people would tell me stuff, and I would always try to find the other side of the story, the negative side of the story of why it wouldn't work. And that's how I felt important, right? Someone tell me an idea, oh, that won't work because of BAM. Oh, that won't work because of BAM. And I'd always shoot things down, right? So again, I do this. Now, and remember, I'm broke. I'm living month to month. I'm 33 years old. I have a brand new daughter, married to my wife, living month, struggling, frustrated. And all of a sudden, I'm driving down the freeway, and this guy's talking about how you can flip houses using no cash and no credit. And I go, what a joke. What a scam. There's no way you can do that. This guy's nuts. And I'm laughing in the car to myself on the way to a pool and landscape appointment, right? And because I'm like, this is because my preconceived notion that I thought I knew what I knew. See, some people go and they said, I know what I know. Okay, so what's the result? How big's your stack? How many properties do you own? How many tens of millions of dollars of property you own? And they go, well, I don't own any. Okay, great. So maybe you don't know what you know, right? So I had to have that challenge. So I thought I knew what I knew. And guess what? I didn't know anything. So, because I had that preconceived notion, because I thought you had to have cash to get involved in real estate, that you could do for a down payment to purchase a property. And I thought you had to have good credit, right? Had a 700 or 800 credit score so you could qualify for a loan. So I believed that you had to have great credit and a ton of cash to get involved, because you see shows, and they didn't have them back then when I first started, but now they do. They have HGTV, where they bought the house for $300, they put $100,000 in, they sold it for $500, and they made $100,000 profit, right? And you're going, holy cow, I want to do that. But guess what? You have to have the 300 and the 100, and you got to be a quality to be able to get in to get those deals. So I was out of the game because I had a 500 or 600 credit score, and I was broke living month to month. So that was my preconceived notion. So I actually turned the channel, stopped listening to what this guy had to say. I stopped. And I'm laughing under my breath. What a scam. What a scam. And I started driving down the freeway on the way to my pool and landscaping appointment in Phoenix, Arizona. And then now I know it's God's intervention. He tapped me on the shoulder and it's like, you moron, turn the channel back, you idiot, right? So what do? I turn the channel back. And I continued till I had that gut feeling. My heart was, I was like, you know what, maybe I should listen to what he said. I was curious. And what I did was I turned the channel back and I continued to listen. He explained the concept of wholesaling, how it works, that you're not actually buying a property, you're signing a contract. You're signing a contract. And then you're turning around and selling that contract, selling interest in that contract. Either way, the bottom line is he explained that concept. I was like, I had no idea, right? I had no idea. So guess what? I got started. I actually bought his course, like I told you, for, I had my wife's Capital One credit card for $250 in my Capital One credit card for $250. And I bought that course for $500. Called him up and asked if he'd take 2 cards. He said yes. Bought the course and he taught how to knock on pre-foreclosure doors. Pre-foreclosure is someone that's about to lose their house in foreclosure. So what happened was I went out and I bought a list and I started knocking on pre-foreclosure doors. The first door I went and knocked on was crazy because I drove up and down. I was scared, right? Now I'm 33 years old, prior US Marine, have a family at home, and I'm scared to go knock on a door, right? Stupid anyways. So I get in my car and I'm driving up and down, right? I'm driving, kind of looking at the house, kind of seeing if anybody's there, hoping anybody's not there. But there was a truck that was parked in the front lawn. It wasn't in the driveway, it was on the front lawn. The front lawn was like all dirt, had these huge knobby tires. So I parked down the street. I didn't want to park in front of the place, parked down the street. Had my little list together and had my notepad together, and went over and, walked around the thing and knocked on the door. And actually, there's a screen door at the time because the other door was open. It was in May, it was hot. So I knocked on the door and the screen door kind of shook like that. And if you ever looked, stood on the outside of a screen door, you can't really see inside. It's like a big shadow. So next thing you know, this big shadow comes up behind the screen door, and it's this dude that's like 6'8". It's my first experience knocking on doors, talking to a potential motivated seller. This is me getting into the business. We're talking about obstacles here, talking about, things that might come up. And for me, I was scared. I was out of my element. I was nervous. I was afraid to screw up. I was afraid to make a mistake. I was afraid, what if it doesn't work? What if I say something wrong? What if I'm an idiot? What if I went nuts on all these what ifs. Right? And then my father-in-law told me I was crazy because you can't sell a house you don't own. And then he referred me to his realtor friend. His realtor friend said, guess what? You'll never get a house because all the professionals. So all that negativity was in my head. He's like, you'll never get a house because all the professionals get those houses. You'll never get one. They spend tons of money. You'll never get those deals. So all that negativity is in my head. I'm sitting there. I knock on the door. This big guy comes behind. He opens the door and he goes, what do you want? And I'm like, and I froze. 33 years old, wife and kids at home, prior US Marine, grown man. I freeze. I'm sitting there going, I look at the notepad. I literally turned around and ran, right? I ran back to my car, afraid. And I got my car and I'm like, there is no way. I was like, Lord, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. No way. I suck. There's no way I could do this. And right then I contemplated quitting. And I'm glad you're watching this. I'm glad you're watching this far, because a lot of people won't. Because you're going to get to a point in the business that there's going to be some obstacle. It's a test. It's a test to see how bad you want it. And I was there. I was contemplating quitting. You're going to come to that point. You're going to contemplate quitting. And I contemplated quitting. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back. And what am I going to do? Go back to selling pools and landscape? Go back to broke? Go back to negative? Go back to not excitement? Go back to... Or I can get over the pain and I can get over the fear and I can do this. And I made a decision right there. And from that point, I was relentless. I knocked on doors on weekends. I got up early. Went in the afternoons at lunch when I had any waking moment that was around what I was doing, my job. I went out there and I knocked on pre-foreclosure doors. And I finally got a deal. I got a guy that said he wanted to sell. And I was, again, scared to death. I didn't have a contract though. So I went to Staples and I bought a contract. I got a Staples, like a real estate contract at Staples. I remember I walked in the house and I'm sitting there looking. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what price. Hey, I looked in the backyard. The pool is empty. It's all cracks all through it. And I go, oh, that's going to be expensive. And the house is all dark. It was night when I met him. The hair's kind of standing on the back of my neck. And he goes, I go, what do you want? He goes, give me 86. I go, okay. And I gave him 86,000, wrote a contract for 86. I didn't know if I could sell it. I didn't have $86,000. I didn't have cash buyers. I didn't even understand that process. But I signed it for 86,000. Luckily, I found a buyer that bought it for 98,000 and some change, 98,000. And I made $11,008 in May of 2003 as my first ever check wholesaling houses. And that changed everything for me because it gave me proof of concept. It's taking you from doubt to belief. It's taking you from not having success to having success. Because once you do this once you go through the process, right? You can, it's a recipe. You can do it over and over and over and over again. You can rinse and repeat. So now I took that process, that written, modified it, changed it, made it better. And guess what? Now it's a cookie cutter, bam. So I can stamp out $11,000 checks 10 to 15 to 20 times a month. Every month, consistently with a team of people, right? So the bottom line is, what would that do for what if you did an extra just 1 or 2 deals a year? What would your life be like? Would it be amazing? Would it be like, wow, it'd be great. It'd be awesome. You know, what if you did that once a month? 1 deal a month, $11,000 a month. Would that change your life? Right? What would you do with your time? It'd be amazing. What if you did 10 deals a month? What if you understood the process, you could do 10 deals a month? Would that be amazing? It would be incredible. That's what I'm talking about. So what happened was back in 2010, I was inspired. I started listening to podcasts. There was no podcast out there. And I decided to start a podcast called Flip to Freedom, the ultimate real estate investing podcast. Didn't know really anything about podcasting, kind of had to learn about it. And I read, again, another book called Go Giver, and it talked about in that 7 stratospheric laws of success. And one of those stratospheric laws was the more people you help get what they want, right? The more success you'll have yourself. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I really like teaching. I really like giving back. I love helping. There's nothing more exciting than me of you going out, going through this, applying the information, having success, and then going out there and then sending me a video, sending me a copy of a check, sending me a copy of your story, sending it to us. That is the most exciting thing that can ever happen. Because I love seeing those. I post them on my Instagram, post them all over. I love it. It's like having a kid that wins a trophy or a prize. I love it. It's amazing. Here's the deal. I am praying for you, right? I know that you have the ability and am praying for your success, your ability to create the vision in your mind, to get excited about this, to be so excited about it. You jump up in the morning, excited about it, to talk to your family, your kids, your brother, your sister, your uncle, and turn around. And if they give you negative feedback, you know, like I got negative feedback, that you're able to shield that off. I pray that you'll go out there and you'll overcome obstacles and go out and become the best you can be. And you'll go out and take this information, apply it, and have immense success. And I'm excited to be with you because you're going to go out there and crush it. Watch.